to meet the predictable spectra of UV-Vis and infrared. Yeah, but we focus more to the UV-Vis. Yeah, to the UV-Vis. I already mentioned that Orgel diagram actually is not too important because compared to the Tanabe-Sugano diagram, Orgel diagram only display or only give informations about the influence of the weak ligands. So this diagram inform us the correlations between free ion terms to the different energy states due to weak ligand interactions, and we call the high spin field, yeah, medan high field spin, high spin field. I'm so sorry, high spin field. Yeah, see here. If you understand, if you have a good understanding how to interpret the Tanabe-Sugano diagram, so watching at these diagrams, you will not find it any difficulties. Yeah, because in these diagrams they already put that the left side is for D2, D7 tetrahedral, D3, D8 octahedral, etc. So you can see clearly, but maybe you just find what F and D. D is the lowest ground terms of this energy levels, and then Orgel diagram only describe into diagrams based on the ground state of F and the D ground state. Okay. Any question related to read the Orgel diagrams? This is very simple, so that is why Missler ignore this diagram. Missler didn't put this diagram into his book. Yeah. Okay. Any questions? Any question? Any question? If there is no questions, yeah. Now I'm going to talk about the how we determine the value of the state energy of electronic transitions from the ground state to the excited state, and also how to determine the value of delta. You already know that delta could be delta for octahedral and delta for tetrahedral. Yeah, the delta represents of the for the splitting energy due to metal or metal ligand interactions. Metal ligand interactions. We have to go back how ligand fields theory describe the splitting energy. Okay. So I go there. I will be in the calculation or determination of E and delta O value. Which one? No. John Taylor. This one. So estimate the value of delta O and B for complex. As you all know that B represent for the Raha parameters that is to measure the repulsions between terms of the same multiplicity. So for D2, yeah, we have example for D2, 2 electron in the orbital D. The book, you can open your book as well while watching my slides. Yeah, they choose they select the hexaquavanadium 3 to describe or to guide us understands the way for the delta O and E, capital E, represent for the energy of excited state from the ground state. Yeah, they use the hexaaquovanadium 3. Yeah. This vanadium has an electronic configuration of 2 in its d orbital. Okay. Now you have to know that the Tanabe-Sugano diagram of D is here. We call back the selection rule that the allowed transitions in D2 is from the triplet T1G as a ground terms, the lowest energy. Then the electron is going to the triplet T2, triplet T1G, and triplet A2. So by watching at this diagram, you can predict that the hexaaquovanadium 3 can emerge 3 peaks of its UV spectra, but in fact there are only 2 peaks detected, or 2 detected peaks. Yeah, here. Why it's occur, you can explain using the breaking rule of the selection rule, and then Jahn-Teller distortions, and one more idea is maybe the energy to push the electron excite from the ground term to the third terms, triple A2, very high, so outside the scope of the visible range. Yeah, you can give such kind of explanation as well. Okay, and now so we can predict that there are true based on the Tanabe-Sugano diagram, but in fact the spectrum only give us two value, that is 17,800 and 25,700. Yeah, there are 2 informations of the energy of hexaaquovanadium 3. Then we try to write down the transition states. Yeah. After that, the book guide us or give information that we have to make the ratio between the higher energy to the lower ones. So here 25.700 is divided in with the 17,800, 700, yeah, 25,700 thousands, yeah, and then 17,800. We got the 1.44 ratio. Till this session, I hope you understand. By the time we know the ratio, that 1.44, 1.44, then we plot to this Tanabe-Sugano diagram. See, plot directly here. So the V1 means the transition from the ground state to the triple T2, and then V2 is the transition from the ground state to the triplet T1G. Yeah. So approximately in here, we can use the rule. Yeah. here the ratio we find is around 31 of the delta O divided by Raha parameter. Okay, here. Okay, so by watching this diagram, we can select that's the delta O over B is about around 31 here, 31. You can measure here between the triplet T2G and triplet T1G is around 1.44. While if you plot the V1s to the V3 or the first transition to the third transitions, you will get the ratio around 2. So it is stated clearly in this book. It is stated clearly in this book, yeah. Here. We can see that the ratio of V3 to V1 is approximately 2, regardless the strength of the ligand fields. But the 1.44, we find the ratio is at the delta O over B equal to the 31. When we got this value, then it is easy to convert or to obtain the B value or Raha parameter. B value E over B equal to the 42 for the V2 and the V1. How to obtain this? This one. At the 31 of the delta O over B, yeah, we draw or we pull the vertical lines, yeah, from the 31s to the V1. You get here and then make a horizontal line from the E over B. You find the E over B is around 29, below 30. And then for 42, just you draw the vertical lines, then make another horizontal line to y-axis. Y-axis represent for the E over B. You will find around the 42. So this one, for the V2, we got the 42 equal to the E over B. And then V1 is 29 equal to the E over B. Then we can enter the value of the E, we find the B value. In this case, it's luckily the B are the same. The B value is the same. The B value is the same, okay? By the time you obtain the B value, you just enter it to this equation. Delta O over B equals 31, then the B value already obtained, then delta O you can calculate. Although delta O can be calculated. We got the 19,000 over centimeter. But when you read the book, it is quite complicated. At least you know how to obtain this value. So this book guide us a bit, what we call, this book guide us a bit, what we call, not confusing, complicated here. So we have to find out the EB by trying at the 0 value of delta O over B, 10 value, 20 value, 30 value. Then after that, we calculate the V1, V2 till we got the different ratio. Then we put, if we use this book, the ratio of 1.44 should be below 30. But when we use the Tanabe-Sugano diagram, here, the ratio 1.44 is above 31. Okay, so which one we have to do? Better one. if you make this this data false by trying an error and calculating everything, it will take longer times. So, okay.
Sorry, ma'am.
Yes, missing. Which one?
We can see the screen that being sent.
Okay. Now you can see it again.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
So, okay. So if you use the stage that is given in this book, then you have to create this complicated table. It will take a longer time. But by the time you take a look at carefully in the Tanabe-Sugano diagrams, you will find easily that the ratio of 1.44 is around the value delta O of a B above 30. And this book state as 31. So different value you can compare. Because here at the 30, the ratio of V2 over V1 is around 1.46. So if we calculate the ratio exactly from the experimental data, then we got the value of 1.44 below the 30. So as a students, I just give you a suggestion. If you face the problem in the exams sessions, better you use suddenly the Tanabe-Sugano diagram. Oh. But you have so bring the rule, during examination. Okay, but usually if I create questions or question assignments, I mention this ratio and mention the positions. Then I only ask you to calculate the B value or the delta O value. Otherwise, could be I'm asking you to calculate the ratio, but I don't ask you to make this kind of complicated complicated calculation. So let's see lah in the examination what the questions look like, yeah. What the problem looks like, yeah. See in this examination sessions, yeah. But you have to learn a lot. You have to learn more, yeah. Both states, both routes. First route, you just right away use the Tanabe-Sugano diagram, and the second route, you have to check and recheck by creating the data in the figure. In the figure 11, 14, this one. So you can see 0, mean V1 and V2. You have to find out the value of the V1 and V2 using the rule. Yeah, rule, not rule law, tapi rule, but rule noun. ruler. You have to use the ruler. Okay, okay, not ruler. Any questions? So first of all, you have to calculate the ratio between the ground terms energy divided by the higher energy. If there are more than 2, such in the problem, for example, in the problems, you have to choose one, yeah. But to choose which one the higher than the ground state, and make the ratio calculations. After that, you have to check in the Tanabe-Sugano diagrams in what positions the ratio, in what positions of the delta O over B. Yeah. Then when you find the position of the delta O over B, you can find out the B value. No, not set with this. The B value of the frequency 1 and the B value of the frequency 2. Okay. How to obtain the B value of the frequency 1 and frequency 2? You have to find the energy, E per B. Draw the vertical line in the Tanabe-Sugano diagrams, then draw the horizontal lines to the y-axis. In the y-axis, there is a E of B, capital E of B. Okay, so you get the value of the E of B of the V1s and the V2. Okay, in this case, the B value is the same. By the time you obtain the B value, you go straight away to calculate the delta octahedral value. Okay, any questions? Any question? Okay, I think that you it is clear enough. Yeah, it is clear enough. So I go to this. I will be in this session. Nephlocytic effect. Nephlocytic effect. What is the nephlocytic effect? In the slide, you will find this the definitions. Yeah, actually, the nephlocytic effect is symbolized or designated by the beta. It is named as it is called as nephlocytic effect ratio, equal to the Raha parameter of complex and the Raha parameter of the free ions. Okay, and the free ion. Okay. Usually, Raha parameter of the complex is lower. The value is lower than the Raha parameter of the free ions. Why? Because in the free ions, there is no electron contribution from the ligands. While in the B complex, the orbital of the metal will be added by the electron from the ligands. So the orbital, the overlap orbital occur, then they expand the value. Decrease the density, then it's contributed to the reason why the B complex is lower than the B free ions value. The nephlocytic ratio is the notations to detect the power or the strength of the covalent bonding. The smaller the beta value or the nephlocytic ratio value, the covalent bonding is stronger. The lower the value of the nephlocytic ratio lower, then the covalent bonding is stronger. Any question? Any question? So B Raha parameter, the B, capital B for complex is usually or always lower than the B free ions. Why? Because the B complex, yeah, there is orbital overlap between the metal and the ligands, yeah, and then the orbital is expand or getting bigger. Make it the density the density decreases. Its density decreases. Okay, so the beta or nephlocytic ratio is usually less than 1. Okay, the smaller the nephlocytic effect, the stronger the covalent bondings is. Okay, any question? If that clear enough? Kayla, are you with me? The explanation is clear enough or not? The explanation is clear enough or not?
It's clear, ma'am.
Okay, so you understand, yeah? Okay, I'll give you a question, Kayla. Kayla, hello?
Yes.
When you use the nephlocytic effect parameter, the beta, yeah, and then the value is the smallest value compared as the beta value of one complex, E and B. We have two complex, E and B, A and B, sorry, E for the A, yeah, A and B, yeah, and then the A complex has the beta value lower than B complex. Which one has the stronger covalent bonding? Kayla. Kayla,
Yes, ma'am.
answer my question.
When the nucleocytic ratio is the B complex is the bigger one, because the smaller p value when you calculate it, B complex divided by p0, the when the B complex is bigger, the mm, the higher covalent bond is the covalent bond is actually stronger.
Is it possible that the B complex is bigger than the free ion? Is it possible? The value of the B complex is bigger than the B of free ions. Is it possible, Kayla?
Uh, but in Rasha parameter, the free ion is bigger than the B complex.
No. Just is it possible that the B complex is bigger than the B free ions? The answer must be yes or no.
Mm, maybe no, ma'am, because
No.
it explained from
Okay.
Rasha parameter.
Okay, so I'm talking about the beta. Beta is nucleocytic ratio. Beta. If I got two complex A and B, and then the E complex has lower beta, yeah, nucleocytic effect, then the B complex. Which one among the two complex has the stronger covalent bond?
The E complex.
Okay, why?
Mm, still figuring out how to explain it, ma'am.
You have
But
to.
I think it's a
You have to. Please explain why. Why, Kayla? How do you explain? Because if the beta or nucleocytic ratio is lower, means that the bonding between ligand of the complex is stronger, and the contribution of the ligand to the metal is bigger, creating the orbital overlap expand or creating expanded orbital overlappings, make it the density of the complex decrease, then the covalent bonding is stronger. And the compared to the higher nucleocytic ratio. Yeah. So the way you explain, you have to go back to the Raha parameter complex over Raha free ions. Even though maybe first of all you just answer theoretically, yeah, you just answer theoretically if the nucleocytic ratio is lower, then the covalent bonding is stronger. Okay, it can be explained by you go back to then you give the explanation related to the Raha parameter complex over the Raha parameter free ion. Okay, Kayla? Kayla?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Hopefully it will help you, Kayla. Sorry, Fuad, it doesn't mean that I pay attention to the Kayla because at the beginning Kayla and Tunjung, yeah, and then Kayla still smiling, yeah. Kayla, even though maybe she is very happy, yeah, she is very happy. So I like, yeah, I like a person that even someone else attack or someone else give a pressure, but they think that the oppressor attack is attack, but I have to learn and learn. Yeah, okay, Kayla, thank you. Now you find it easy to understand the material, yeah. Then I going to the last sessions of this chapter related how we interpret or predicting the electronic spectra of complex, yeah. It is the last topic is about the LMCT and MLCT and energy application of them. Yeah. LMCT stand for ligand to metal charge transfer, while MLCT stand for metal to ligand charge transfer. Actually, both terms, the LMCT, ligand give electron to metal. It will result in the reducing of oxidation state of the metal. If there is a reducing state of state number of the metal, the reaction name as reduction. So LMCT, the reactions occur behind its reduction, while the MLCT, metal give electron to the ligands, yeah. So the oxidation state or oxidation number of the metal will increase. Then the reaction mechanism behind this what we call this reaction of what we call this phenomena is named as oxidation. So LMCT, MLCT actually is oxidation reaction mechanism. Okay, there is a particular conditions the reaction can occur. First, for LMCT, ligand to metal charge number, the conditions ligands must carry the sigma orbital, the ligand, or must prepare the sigma orbital. Okay. While MLCT, ligand, so we focus on ligand, must prepare the anti-bonding orbital. The empty anti-bonding orbital. The empty anti-bonding orbital of the ligands can receive the electron from metal for MLCT. Okay. Is it possible two reactions occur in one complex? Possible, as long as the ligand can provide the sigma orbital that can donate the electron to the metal. At the same time, the ligand also provide the anti-bonding orbital, empty anti-bonding orbital, usually P star. So if the complex fulfill the two requirements, the two mechanism reaction of LMCT and MLCT can occur in one complex. In one complex. Okay, any question? Any question? Any question? If there is no questions, the book also provide the example. The example here for metal to ligand. Oh no, this is wrong. This one, same figure 11/16. Then this one also figure 11/16. So I have to delete this first, and then change to the correct one. Okay, I have to open the book to find out the correct example. So wait for a while. You can find in your book the 11/15. So here, the correct example. Okay. Ligand metal charge transfer. In this case, the book gives us two complex. First one, there's hexabromoiridate 2 minus, and then hexabromoiridate 3 minus. The previous one described the D5, and then the second one described the D6. Okay, this example give us the D6. The D6. If this occur in the D6, so the T2G full evenly by the couple of the electrons. So the transition only possible from the ground state to the EG. If we put D5, mean one electron eliminate from the orbital, one electron eliminate from the orbital. So the sigma ligands can fill the electron into G and electron in EG. Then the proposed spectrum of the UV-Vis could be for the D6 only one peak, and then for D5 there are two peaks. And then the book give explanation as well. For the D5, we find the two peaks around the 600 nanometer and the near 270 nanometer, while for the D6 hexabromoiridate 3, the T2G level are filled, so there is only one peak near 250, intense peak or strong absorption, strong peak or intense peak around the 250 nanometer. Okay, so the predictions and the facts is match match each other. We go to this another one. So you have to denote that this one is reduction mechanisms, and then the MLCT is oxidation mechanism. MLCT here the ligand should provide the empty orbital names as antibonding orbital, p antibonding. Okay. So this one also you can check the example. I continue. Is it possible that the two mechanisms occur usually with the strong ligand such as carbonyl, the carbonyl ones, yeah? In the case of the hexacarbonyl chrome, you can check in the book, yeah? Hexacarbonyl chrome without any Romance number, yeah, without any oxidation state, yeah? The LMCT, MMLCT can occur because carbonyl is such kind of the ligands that brings the sigma donor orbital and then together with the empty antibonding orbital. And then it has been examined occur on the hexacarbonyl chrome complex. The last topic, we are going to talk about the application of the MLCT and LMCT. Usually, it's in this book they give an explanation how the photolytic process to the H2O using the photon Hnu and the catalyst Hnu and catalyst to produce the hydrogen gas and oxygen gas. Okay, detail mechanisms is displayed below. Yeah, in this case we use the organometallic catalyst, 3-bipyridyl ruthenium 2. Yeah. And then we use photons, Hnu. Yeah, the reaction is named as a sensitization approach. A sensitization approach actually is we give a border for the HV not to strike HV or what they call a photon, not to straight away attack the H2O to produce gas, hydrogen gas or oxygen gas. Yeah. So they have to takes a longer stage because the what we call the photon must be softened using the catalyst of the organometals, and this one is the methyl phylogene is also used to absorb the electron couple from the electron pair, yeah, from the photons that is already softened by the organometal catalyst. Here you can see this one, the methyl phylogene. There is no free lone pair electron here, but when they receive the pair electron, this one, the positive side become there is a couple or there is a electron pair here. Okay, so by the end of the reactions, they use the platinum PT catalyst, yeah, and then the books give us information that the hydrogen gas will on the top of the catalyst surface. Any question? Any question till the end of the explanation? If there is no questions, yeah, I think that's bring my talks. Yeah, the session is end up. The session is end up. Then see you offline in the next coming Wednesday. See, now there is a difference, yeah, when we go to the real class and the virtual class, yeah. What we call it is I still feel awkward, yeah. I still feel awkward when I performs the lecturer in a virtual class, yeah. I'm happier when perform or conducts the lecture in the real class. Yeah, I can see your performance, I can see your smile, whether you are smiling or whether you are sad, yeah, happy, yeah. So I feel that I talk to the real a real human, yeah, not like in the virtual ones. And I just watch the picture, the photograph, and etc. Okay. If there is no questions, I think Alhamdulillah for the sessions. Yeah. See you next coming Wednesday. Hopefully all of you are blessed by health, with the health. Yeah. Blessed with the health by God. Yeah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat petang. Sampai ketemu.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Waalaikumsalam
wabarakatuh.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih, Bu.
Terima kasih, Bu.